everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I know that this video is very late. We are like nearly at the end of September, or at least it's going to basically be the end of September when you get this video. But this is my August book review. The reason it's taken this long to record and get uploaded is because I've been very busy, and I've actually been that busy that I haven't had time to read much. Like, I've read 5 books, I think, yeah, 5 books in August, but they're quite short. Like, one of them is very thin. So I've read 5 books in August, and in September, it's the 14th of September, and I've only read 1 book so far this month. Shows how busy of a person I am at the moment. Like, I'm so busy that I am losing track on what I've done and what I've completed, and I honestly can't remember the last time where I've literally just sat and done nothing for a few minutes. Like, I'm all over the place at the moment, so I apologise for the lateness of this video, and yeah. Also, it's really annoying because of me being this busy. I'm behind on my books. I think I'm like 12 books behind now on the challenge that I set myself. So there's no way in hell I'm going to be reading 104 books by the end of the year, because there's not long left to the end of the year. Soon it'll be 2020 before we know it. And yeah. Anyway, let's go try and get through these quickly. I'm going to try and talk about them as quickly as I can because I've got stuff to do. So the first one I read was called The Odd Sisters. This is like, I've mentioned these ones before about the Disney ones. I like Disney remake ones and I absolutely love it. I can't remember who this one's by. It's by Sabrina Valentino and I absolutely love it. So The Odd Sisters are 3 sisters. I thought I made notes, but I'm guessing I didn't make notes. Oh god, I can't remember what happened in it. This was like, well, it was more than a month ago that I read this now. So The Odd Sisters are the 3 sisters that keep causing havoc in the fairy lands or whatever. In the last book they got like they got caught, if that makes sense, and got put into like another dimension. They had no powers, but their daughter Cersei, I think that's her name is, Cersei, was like trapping them and everything, and she was trying to learn more about them. She had to help Snow White to learn more about them. And I honestly cannot tell you much about this book because I seriously cannot remember what happened. I really love this book, but I can't remember what happened. They learnt quite a bit about like what the Odd Sisters did towards like the other like villains and that. So like how they messed up Gothel and Maleficent and all that kind of stuff. And there was like there's a war like coming on in this, or they've just recovered from a war. And in the end, something that happened at the end that basically was like a sacrifice, and Cersei basically sacrificed herself in the end to be with her sisters slash mothers, because the Odd Sisters she used to think were her sisters, but it turned out they were actually her mothers, because they took a part of them, a good part of each of them, and made them to make her their daughter. But they used to always just say that they were her sister. So it was a really weird book. Me trying to explain it was probably terrible, but I really can't remember what happened in it. Like, my mind is just blank. All I can remember is I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend if you like Disney, because there's a good like twist on the Disney ones. And this one actually only came out this like the other month or something. This was a 2019 book. I can't remember. I think that came out in like July or something. But it was like, I think it's like the final, like the tie-in for all the other ones. Like I recommend the whole series. So that's that book. I've probably talked about it enough now, considering I can't remember what it was. I seriously remember putting in a post-it note to remind me about what happened, but the post-it notes aren't there anymore. So somewhere there's a post-it note that tells you all about this book. Okay, the next one is the final Darren Shan, book 12. Finally finished him. So this is the Sons of Destiny, the final act. So Darius is the child of Darren's sister and Steve, the like villain Steve, and he is a half Vampanese. But he doesn't want to be a Vampanese anymore. Now that he's realised they're evil, he wants to become a vampire. So obviously he ain't always ever going to be human again. So Darren bloods him. Darren bloods Darius to become a vampire. His sister, Darren finally gets to see his sister Annie, and there's a little bit of a reunion and everything. I'm just going to pick up my notebook. I'm trying to not look too much, but screw it, I can't remember. It's been too long. I'm too tired for this. So there's a big battle, and Darren actually kills Steve, and there's a bit of a twist though, because obviously if Darren killed Steve, he was going to become the Lord of Shadows, and if Steve killed Darren, Steve would become the Lord of Shadows, and the Lord of Shadows is just going to destroy Earth basically, and Darren doesn't want to do that. So Darren kills Steve, but then he has a little twist, because just before Steve dies, he then allows Steve to kill him, so they both die. They also learn that they are both Mr. Tiny's like sons. I want to say siblings then, but no, sons. That Mr. Tiny had like planned it all from the beginning, that Darren and Steve are always going to fight, and the winner would be like the Lord of the Shadows and everything. So it was all part of his plan, but Darren decided to change his destiny and die. And then there's a little bit about how he becomes a little person, and then he ends it all and mends it, if that makes sense. He mends and changed the destiny of everyone else by changing his destiny when he became a little person. So he went back to when he was a child before he met Mr. Crepsley and became a half vampire, and he changed it so then none of that happened. If that makes sense. It's a really good book. It's a really good series. I know it's like designed for kids, but I absolutely enjoyed the series. I think it's a really good series, and I highly, highly recommend it. So that's the Sons of Death Keys one. Okay, the next one I read was Stig of the Dump. I know it's a children's book, but I can remember when I was younger watching it on TV, the little TV series, and I loved it. And I saw this and I wanted to read it. So basically, Barney falls down a hole, which is like the dump where everyone dumps their stuff in, and he meets Stig. He helps Stig improve his little dump home. In the winter, he helps Stig chop up wood. Him and his sister and his grandma think he has an imaginary friend, but after a while, the sister does meet Stig. Stig and Barney stop a burglar, and at first they didn't believe Barney about them doing that, and then they find out that Barney did like stop the burglar and helped to save everyone's pieces. Barney and his sister help Stig end up like following a buck or a deer or whatever it is, and they end up seeing Stig, and then they also see loads of other like cavemen, and it's like they've gone back in time, and they help Stig build Stonehenge. It's really weird, it's really good, I loved it. It was a good little read to read when you're a bit stressed and you just want to chill out and have a little bit of like a fantasy kind of like children's read, and it was a good like walk down memory lane, because like I vividly remember the TV show Stig of the Dump. I like remember like what the character looks like and everything. I love that show. So there you go, Stig of the Dump. Okay, the next one I read is a bit of a cheating one, because it's not really a book, it's a comic book, but as it says, it's got the word book in it, see? So it is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and it's not really how you know Sabrina, like it's not like the Sabrina the Teenage Witch, ding, I don't know what that was about, or like the TV show, and it's not really about the Netflix one either, like the Netflix ones. I know it's got her on it, but it's not really, like the Netflix one is a lot darker. So Sabrina and Harvey, they're together. Harvey dies, like actually dies, he gets like eaten or something, because he sees Sabrina being like writing her name in the book, the dark book. And also Riverdale was in it. They mentioned Riverdale because they have Betty and Veronica from Riverdale, who are also witches, and they kind of help Sabrina, and Sabrina just becomes a badass. And it's really good actually. It's a lot different to what I imagined. I really enjoyed it, and there are like more that you can get, so I might try and get some of the other ones. But I love her like comic books and that. Like the colouring is so vivid. I really did enjoy it. So if you like comic books, check it out. And if you like witches and that, it's a really good read. Like I said, it's different to what you know it. So that's that one. The final one was Icelandic Ghost Stories. Now I got this in like 2015 when I went to Iceland. Never read it until now. And it's just a mixture of ghost stories from Iceland. It is a bit of a hard read because I can't pronounce a lot of the words. Whereas one, let's try and find a word I can't pronounce. So we've got one of the names here is Reverend Inglebert Porradorason of Pygmuli? I don't know. So it was very hard to read it because I had to keep trying to stand it out in my head, like what it sounded like, and in the end I just like changed the names of things and that to make it a bit more so I can understand it. But they're quite good. They're a bit of a weird versions of ghost stories, like it's not really actual like ghosts, so it's just like so and so had dirt thrown at them, or so and so heard noises. It's a bit of a, I always thought of like, oh yeah, they saw the ghostly figure riding down the cliffs or something, but no, most of it was about so and so getting dirt chucked on. There was a couple about like headless children following them and that, but again, it weren't really more about the ghost, it was more about what the ghost did to him. So like the ghost would like kill kill their animals or something. So it was a good read, interesting read. Still gave me a few nightmares. It dreamt about headless children and animals dying and that, so it kind of did mess with my head a little bit. But it was a good read, and it was a nice little easy read to finish off the month. So I talked for way too much. Good thing is, because I haven't read much for September, you're probably only going to get me to talk about 2 books in September's one, if I even bother recording it. I nearly didn't record this one because time-wise and everything, but I thought, screw it, I'm going to sit and record it, because why the hell not? So there you go, that's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I put videos twice a week. I have Wednesdays, which are gaming, and Sundays, which are random. Some of my Sunday ones are going to be, and my gaming ones to be fair, are going to be looking a bit weird at the moment because they are recorded from like months ago, and I'm trying to play catch up. I've got loads of pre-recorded videos which I'm using whilst I'm busy to kind of help me keep uploading, but also I don't have to record or think about editing or anything whilst I'm busy because I'm going to be working like non-stop for the next like 3 weeks. So yeah, I thought that would help me have a good break and everything, but I will get back on track soon. I also want to try and do something special for October, but I don't think that's really going to work because like the first week and a half of October, I'm literally going to have no spare time at all. I probably won't even know when I can go to the toilet. I'm going to be that busy kind of thing. So, you know, I'll see what I can do. Anyway, I'm rambling, I'm talking too much, so I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to go get my dinner ready because I've got to go to work. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is. I hope you've been smiling because that's the most important thing, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!